Jamar in spirit with us. We'll have their picks. I'll read off my phone as we get through it. Rusty only sent me his Final Four, so I guess I can tell you some of the early picks based off of that. Jamar sent me his Elite Eight, so he gave me a little bit more to go on. I figured, I don't know how you all want to do it. I figured we just go straight down the line and pick them. I think there's some that might be maybe not as much of a conversation piece as others, but I guess we'll talk about them and find out. Let me get the bracket pulled up here. What have y'all decided we're going to put in on this for the win?
20 million.
Just short of 20 million. What we're going to do. If I had 20 million to spare, I might do it, but that I don't have.
A $5 Coldtown Taps gift card.
$5 gift card, okay.
I think the listeners are unaware just how successful this podcast is. Like we could put we could put $1 million on this if we wanted to.
I mean, I'm unaware if it's that successful. I've not seen the what's the fruits of the labor from that. If somebody's getting $1 million, it ain't me.
Somebody's getting your royalty checks then.
They might be. See Jamar rolling around a Ferrari here soon. Well, I guess we'll start it off with the defending champs. We got UConn versus Stetson. John, what do you have in that one?
This is really a toss-up, I feel like. You got the Huskies versus, I think they're called the Hatters. So, Johnny Depp, not very popular anymore. I'll go with UConn.
Well, it's hard to top that one.
I
Logan,
think we're good on this one. I don't think we're having any upsets on this one.
We all got UConn.
Yeah, let's just go to something that we're talking about. Nobody wants us to all go around the horn and say UConn.
Yeah. All right, well, you got your second matchup, and it's 8 versus 9, so might be a toss-up. FAU versus Northwestern. What do you got, Thomas?
Let's see here. Did some research earlier, took some notes.
Okay.
Which one did you say? You said FAU and Northwestern? Let's see. In my notes, I have Northwestern inconsistent offense. Have struggled without Ty Berry. So they did lose one of their best players recently. Yeah, so I wanted to take Northwestern, but I think I'm gonna have to go with FAU on that one.
FAU.
Yeah.
What do you have, Logan?
Go ahead, John. I'm trying to find my bracket.
I know, me too.
I'm going back in the group now. No, you're good. I should have.
I have the Owls.
Do this for 2 days.
Oh, yeah, I'll take FAU.
Yeah, they were coming off they had a lot of excitement coming into the year from last year's tournament, and that's why I really wanted to pick Northwestern. Northwestern has some good wins earlier in the year. I struggle with it how they've looked recently. Yeah, something like that.
So I went with Northwestern too. For the sole reason that I bet on FAU once this year and they lost, so I just went with Northwestern. Same here. Went with San Diego State as well.
I agree. I think this is the most popular upset pick, though. It looks like everybody is taking UAB for the upset. But yeah, I think San Diego State's a pretty good team. They beat Gonzaga earlier in the year. So I went with San Diego State too.
I also have San Diego
There you
State.
went. Now what? We don't know how to host a podcast.
Now it's not even Porch Talk.
All right, well. No, let's do it for real. Sports talk. All right, John. What did you say?
I also, yes, have San Diego State there. Here comes.
Is he back? Maybe. Do not cut this out, Cameron. No, he's out. All right, Cameron. Well, we got it from here. You get out of here. All right, John. What do you think about Auburn and Yale?
I think this is a potential upset, but I think Auburn's got some momentum rolling. I'll take the Tigers.
Yeah, so did I. The reason, seems like they're playing good at the right time.
Yeah, I got Auburn too. I think Auburn's a really solid team, actually, and they play hard. Bruce Pearl really has him going. Bruce Pearl was made for the tournament, I feel. So I got Auburn going.
So do we all pick BYU for this next matchup or what?
Pick BYU.
Okay, Thomas.
Yeah, I picked BYU. Threes and rebounding. Those are the keys to success in the
I
tournament.
think it's an advantage when all of your players are 25 and married with children as well.
Experience matters in the tournament.
Multiple wives too.
Well, it's a family podcast. We don't have to get into that. Illinois Morehead State, a 3-14 matchup. Anybody feeling Morehead State with an upset here?
I was pretty close.
Really?
I was close. I do like Morehead State when I was reading about them and looking at the record. Right. That's all I know.
Matt Lester, my boss went to Morehead when Kenneth Freed was there. He said he played a pickup game with Kenneth. He said it was
probably
about like what you would expect.
Yeah.
Shout out Matt Lester if you're listening.
You probably saw the bottom of Kenneth's shoes a couple of times.
He did. He said Kenneth threw one down on him.
I do love Morehead, but it's going to be hard to beat the Illini there. Eastern Kentucky is not far from here.
Right. Okay, so next we've got 7 Washington State versus number 10 Drake. I went with Drake in this one. I went with the upset over Washington State. Don't really know a lot about either team. Just decided I had too many favorites already picked, so I would go with the 10 over 7.
That's pretty
Follow me for
solid
more
logic.
betting advice. It's kind of like when you on like a bubble test in school when you get so many answers that are the same letter, you just got to pick a different one, even though you think the other one's right.
I went with the future Pac-2 champion Washington State.
Pac-2 champ. Okay. So we finally disagreed on one.
Let's see. Here we go.
Hey,
look who it
you're
is.
Good. We got it. Go on. We got it. We're already done with the first region.
Really? That was quick.
We don't mess around like you do, buddy. We're trying to get in and get out.
Yeah.
Nobody's got the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State there?
I do not. No. Thomas is still trying to figure out. He picked in 17.
I have notes all over my phone everywhere.
Thomas
I also have Drake.
Nice.
I was watching their star player, the DeVries, I believe is his name. Really good player, good scorer. I think he's going to be the star power that carries them for the upset over Washington State.
Okay. Cameron, I'll turn it to you now. What do you have, Washington State and Drake, since I'm running this podcast now? This is my show. This is my porch.
I don't have my bracket pulled up and watched from memory, but I think I have Drake in that one. I never used my phone, but I have Drake winning that one. So you already picked the Auburn-Illinois game?
Yep.
I'll just tell you, I had Auburn beating Yale. Illinois beating Morehead State. I just want to get caught up with y'all. I had Iowa State beating South Dakota.
I think we're probably all in agreement on that one too, right, guys?
Yeah.
Did you have BYU, Cameron? Did you have the Mormons?
I do have the Fighting Mormons. I have them beating Duke or Duquesne. Is that who they play?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That win. Yard, St. Mary's, and Grand Canyon.
No, we're starting the West now.
Oh, okay. Good then, man.
You are.
All right. Go ahead. You got the bracket pulled up. It's your show.
Yeah. This is my porch.
That's your porch. I'm just pulling up a chair.
So I think I know where this was going to go, at least for the two handsome gentlemen in the left side of the screen here.
Top of the
North
screen
Carolina
for me.
and Wagner. Who you got, Thomas? Any upset alert here?
No.
No? Okay, good. Yeah, same. For obvious reasons.
Yep.
Cameron?
Yeah, I have UNC. RJ Davis just too much.
He's the best player in the country.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got
I
John.
think so.
Making sure
that.
everybody knows. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there since it's my show. I can say whatever I want now.
Go ahead there, John. If that's okay with Logan.
I
It's
have
fine, yeah.
UNC.
Okay, yeah. All right, here's I think a good matchup here. 8 Mississippi State versus 9 Michigan State. Let's go to John first on this one.
Well, I hate to pick against the South here, especially with this podcast's history, but I do have the Spartans, Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Thomas?
I have Mississippi State in this one. I think it's going to be a UVA style game. Not a lot of points scored. I think Mississippi State's going to get the rebounding edge. That's going to carry them over Michigan State.
Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah. So, I think it's very tempting to go with Michigan State. I think that Tom Izzo, he's a tournament guy. First round, I think in the last 15 years, he's 14-1. But with that being said, I think Michigan State's a team that probably shouldn't have made it in this year, and they did. So, they could be one of those teams that turn it on come tournament time, like Tom Izzo, their teams have in the past. But I think I lean more towards the side of, they're going to be exposed in this game. I think Mississippi State is a team that they throw it down low a lot. They're a greedy team. I think they're going to put them in a dogfight. I just don't think that the Spartans are up for that. I think they're 2-8 this year against the Ken Palm top 30. And I think they've only won maybe 1 or 2 games against like top 20 teams this year, in which I know, Mississippi State may not be like a top 20 team. But I think Mississippi State's too gritty. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I have them winning.
Yeah, I went Michigan State too. It's, tournament time. I'm just not going to, in this matchup, I'm not going to bet against Izzo. It's really all it is to it. I think Michigan State gets their first round win and then they're knocked out in the second round. But I do think they'll sneak one out. It's the South.
Yep.
All right. 5 St. Mary's versus 12 Grand Canyon. Anybody want to go sightseeing or?
I think this is a tough one, just because of how Grand Canyon was last year. I think the last 3 or 4 years they made the tournament. I'm still going St. Mary's. I don't know. For me, there's just this thing about them. They're one of those teams, again, like betting this year, that I've been able to win some money on just with the spread with them. And Grand Canyon, I just don't. I know recently, in the past few years, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were the ones who beat us last year. I'm trying to block that out of my memory, but I'm on St. Mary's. I think probably just won probably a 5-point game.
Noted. All right, John, what are you thinking?
Well, I really considered the Canyon there, but I went with St. Mary's.
Thomas, we in agreement?
I got Grand Canyon in this one. They have a great record this year, 29-4, I believe. Beat San Diego State, almost beat South Carolina. I just really like their transfer. They played Kansas and then DePaul. Grant Foster is his name. Reading about him today. Apparently he was sidelined with a heart condition. Was cleared to play this year and has been balling out. 20 points, 6 rebounds. So I think that's good. That's one of those stories, the Cinderella story that you see going through the tournament. So I got Grand Canyon in that one.
Yeah, I'm with St. Mary's on this one. Just, to me, Grand Canyon is a online education institute. Everybody's seen the GCU commercials, so I didn't think that online schools actually had teams in the tournament. So that was actually news to me. I was looking for Southwest on here. I didn't see it. I didn't know. I don't know if it's a misprint or what. They didn't make the play-in game like Virginia.
That'd been a good one for us to play against them.
That good competition. Good competition.
Could have broke 40.
Sure.
All right. Next, we have number 4 Alabama versus 13 Charleston. Who wants it?
I've got an upset here, and I don't
Same.
feel bad again about South
Hey, that's 3 of
upsetting the
us.
South because Charleston. I'm assuming this is Charleston, South Carolina, which is probably more Alabama
It
than
is.
Tuscaloosa is.
Ray?
So I got Charleston.
I got Charleston
ahead,
too.
Thomas.
I just don't think Alabama plays enough defense. They're very good offensively, don't get me wrong, but pretty streaky. Charleston has a lot of veterans and can really shoot, and I think that's a recipe for an upset. I got Charleston.
Yeah, I think they're a classic Cinderella team, just with the way they play. So I think this is it. I think this is it. This is gonna be your upset here.
Man, well, I feel I've been on picking Bama. Made me feel maybe second guess it. I'm going with Bama. Um, I think Thomas already mentioned it. They don't play a lot of defense, but they are number one in the country in scoring. They average 90 points per game. Uh, Charleston, South Carolina, uh, they're 204th in defense, points per game allowed. I just think scoring wise, Alabama is just going to be too much. They're 15-5 when they're listed as the favorites this year. It's a pretty decent odds. I just think scoring, I don't think Charleston's going to be able to stop them enough. So I got Bama.
I think there should be a prop bet on whether there's more. Since you said CFC has a really bad defense, I think if there's more points scored in the first 5 minutes of that game than what your Wahoos are going to score all night. They're at 14 at the moment, right?
More than 15 minutes into the game.
To Thomas's point about Bama's defense, they're 356 points per game allowed. I didn't even know there was that many schools in defense. So,
That's right below Southwest.
yeah.
Throw a little money on the over on this one.
Look for Mark Sears to have a good game.
Okay, next we've got Clemson versus New Mexico. I went with Clemson on this one. I didn't really think they deserved to be there, but I think since they got in, I went ahead and gave them the nod over New Mexico. The one kid that they have, he really impresses me every time we play them.
PJ Hall.
Yeah, Hall, right.
Yeah.
So I figured throw them a bone here.
I got New Mexico winning and upset on this one. I just found that Clemson is too inconsistent. That loss against Boston College, I don't think it was a good sign. I just think that, I had read an article saying, they had 9 days of rest because of it. So they might be well rested going into the game. But I think Hall has to have a great game for them to seal it. But I just think New Mexico is too great, too athletic, that I think they're going to give him trouble. I think they're going to force it out of his hands, much like Farley Dixon did to Zach Eagle last year. It's two different types of players, but I think they're going to force it out of Hall's hands, and I think the other guys are going to step up. The Lobos.
What are you thinking, John?
I do really.
No, Thomas, no. You go ahead.
Sorry, John.
You're fine.
You hadn't moved. I thought you were froze, honestly.
I really do like New Mexico. I thought about taking them before looking at the bracket. I thought I would take them as an upset in the first round, but I guess maybe we're biased, Logan, because we watch how well Clemson plays against Carolina every single time, winning in Chapel Hill this year. They just have. I've seen they have so much potential. Clemson does. I know they're inconsistent, but I think come tournament time they're gonna be focused, and I think they're gonna look really good. I have them winning that one.
I have the Lobos as well. They're a very hot team right now. So, in Clemson, I feel like has cooled off from where they were late January, early February. So, I've got the New Mexico.
So next is Baylor versus Colgate. I'm not going to make a brushing your teeth reference here, so let's just Baylor, everybody around the horn. We're going Baylor. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that there's potential for an upset or for it to be close. Colgate is top 20 on defense. So if Baylor has one of those games where they just, me and John talked about before the podcast. There's one of those teams that they could go to the Final Four or they could be out in the first two rounds. You just never know. But I do like Ray J. Dennis from Baylor. Like when you got a guy like that, and they got a few other guys that I think they'll make enough plays to win.
As
Good
an
on y'all.
Appalachian, I've never really liked Colgate, so I'll go with Baylor.
All right.
The truth.
That's fair. Number 7, Dayton versus 10, Nevada. What do you think, Cam?
This game I have switched, I think, about 6 times on my way home, and even after I got here. For whatever reason, I just keep going back and forth on this. Uh, what really almost threw me to Dayton side was the fact that they're right up there among the top in the country, third in 3-point percentage. And Nevada is 299th nationally in 3-point rate allowed. So that could be an area to where Dayton may can take advantage, I guess. But I think what it came down to, I ended up going with Nevada. It was just the strength of schedule and just them playing in the Mountain West. I think the Mountain West is really good this year. So I have them barely edging it out just because of the competition they play.
Thomas?
Yeah, I went with Nevada as well. I thought they've been another kind of disappointing, inconsistent team this year. They can shoot the three, but I really like the defense in Nevada. So I'm going with Nevada. I think it's for me, it was kind of a low risk upset to pick because the winner gets Arizona. So,
Yep.
yeah, I'm going with Nevada.
I also have Nevada in this one.
Man, I went with Dayton.
I mean, I can see it either way. I pick
I think
back and forth the whole time.
I think the way that Dayton shoots, I think if they have a good game, I know that Nevada's defense is pretty good, but I think if Dayton can max out their ability shooting the ball that game, then I think they get one. But like Thomas said, it doesn't matter whenever they're going out in the round of 32. So I don't think it really matters either way which way you lean there.
It is. I think it's a tough game to pick, but
It is.
I don't think either one's going far.
So I guess we should be in agreement on the next one per that pick.
We all got
Arizona
Longwood.
versus Long Beach.
We all got Longwood.
You go Longwood?
Everybody's got Longwood, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Longwood there at Long Beach. But, it is worth mentioning. I think we've all seen it on Instagram several times. Dan Monson, how do you say his name? They had fired and mutually agreed to part ways before the conference tournament. And Long Beach ended up winning the conference tournament, making the tournament. So it's kind of a cool story. I think that the difference maker for me is that Long Beach, they like to run the ball up the court. Right now, their possession limit is on 15 seconds. They try to hurry and get the tempo up, and I don't think you can do that against a team like Arizona because I think they're going to thrive.
Yeah, you can't run.
Y'all's old friend,
My hero.
yeah, he's going to eat that up. He's going to put up 30. I think he could get almost 40 points this game.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I have them winning.
Yeah, I accidentally skipped that game. I was looking at the next bracket with Longwood and Houston, but
I don't know why you kept saying that.
I thought you said it on purpose.
yeah, just convenient that there were two longs back to back. But yeah, Arizona.
Okay, yeah, I'm not betting against Caleb Love.
No, we can ask Duke how that goes.
So now we actually have Longwood. They're playing Houston. Anybody got 16/1 there?
No.
Nah, Houston's too good.
I will say this about Longwood. They're here in Virginia, and they will not be the worst Virginia team in the tournament. They will score more than 14 points in the first half. I can guarantee that.
How many teams from
I'm
Virginia are in
honest
the
about it.
tournament?
I told you how it was going to
I
be
think
before we started.
3 or 4.
Mm.
We got one here in a second.
Yeah.
I like Houston too.
Yeah, I got Houston. This is going to be the bracket that messes me up because I don't feel good about
Mm-mm.
I don't feel great about any of these teams. But yeah, I got Houston.
Number 8 Nebraska versus 9 A&M.
This is going to be a good one.
This was an easy one for me just because of my
Hmm.
football rule.
Oh, really? Well, see, I'm going with Nebraska. A&M. A&M's shooting 28% from three this year. And I just think they're way too inconsistent. Nebraska's a team they had a good showing in the Big Ten tournament. I got the kid, I can't pronounce his name, but everybody calls him the Japanese.
That could be anybody.
And, well, yeah, that's true. But he gets a really likable guy. He's just always smiling, and down threes and putting up points. So I just think Nebraska's too all around, just good on both sides of the ball. And I think they're way more consistent than what Texas A&M is. So I'm going for Cornhusker.
That guy's name that Cameron couldn't pronounce his name's John Brown. Just kidding.
That it's not true. Tell him what the name is because you probably know it.
I just looked at it. Hold on. Kisei Tominaga.
That's pretty
Yeah, there you
close.
go.
I'm going with the fighting Japanese there. Go with Nebraska. First thing I think of when I think of Nebraska are Japanese people.
I'm thinking peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I'm
What do you
going
think,
A&M
Thomas?
in this one. I'm going A&M. They can't shoot that well, but they can rebound. They're going to fight. I honestly don't remember why I picked A&M, but I did have it in here that I picked A&M, so I'm going to stick with whatever I was whenever I was thinking in the moment. I don't know, maybe they had a good tournament showing, but I'm going A&M.
Yeah, I went A&M just because of the old ball coach in Lincoln, Nebraska. I can't.
What's his name?
I don't. We don't speak his name on my podcast. So I'm not going to pick them in anything. So Wisconsin versus a Virginia team, James Madison.
Well, I'll be the first to say this. That this Virginia team, I believe, is going to do what the other Virginia team that I'm supporting isn't going to be able to do. I think they are going to advance in the tournament. Yeah, I think that they're going to upset Wisconsin. I think that JMU just, I don't know, maybe it's teams from football season. They just have such a big chip on their shoulder, I feel like. They do have the nation's longest winning streak at 13 games. Really stingy defense on the 3-point line. Wisconsin's a team, too, that all year have been super inconsistent. They did have a good showing in the tournament, losing, I think, to Purdue in the conference finals. But I don't know. I feel the Cinderella story. I feel some magic in there. With that being said, I don't know how far I have them going. I look at it. I have them winning the first game at least.
Not a Cinderella if they just get one win.
Well, she's got to the ball. I'm not sure that she's going to be dancing yet.
I don't think she. I think she just pulled up outside when you just get one win. She's not went through security yet, so still got time. What do you think, John?
Well, James Madison. Cameron talked about the chip on the shoulder there. James Madison, our shortest president, something I associate with. He was only 5'5". Father of the Constitution, he wrote some of the Federalist Papers. 4th president. I am picking James Madison to beat Wisconsin.
You're such an American.
Thank you.
Almost like he teaches history or something.
Big history guy.
Use that term loosely, that verb you used there.
I went with Wisconsin. I just think, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to change that.
They do have a good showing.
I think Yeah. Like I said, I went with Wisconsin. Didn't Honestly, I didn't know a lot about JMU. I did not do my research before I filled out this bracket. I don't think I still would have picked them, but you guys have made some, especially John with his infinite knowledge of the 5'5" fourth president. But yeah, I went with Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went with
oh,
I went with James. Yeah, I went with James Madison too. Uh, I just feel like Wisconsin wasn't great near the end of the season, and James Madison has the best record in the tournament. So I'm going with James Madison.
Okay, we've got Duke, number 4 seed, versus a 13 seed Vermont. Unfortunately, I picked the Dukies, but I don't have them in there for very long. So
yeah, I went Duke for Paskey because I mean I like Eman is not for him, but
he's a tripping hazard.
yes, pretty tripping hazard. But I think Vermont's gonna be the one tripping in this one. I think that Duke's gonna win, so he's gonna be good enough to carry it.
Thomas, John, anybody?
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything good about Duke, but I got him winning.
Yeah. Okay.
They got a really weak bracket.
Naturally.
Well, I'm not a UNC fan. I don't really have a college basketball team, but everyone hates Duke. Okay, and I went with
I am no different.
I went with the Fighting Bernie Sanders, the Green Mountain Boys, representing Thomas's region of the country, Vermont.
Okay.
Very nice.
I would love to see it.
I know. I hope you're right. I went to Vermont recently. It's a beautiful state. Got some
I
crazy
can feel
laws.
Cinderella coming from there.
Yeah.
We got 6 Texas Tech versus 11 NC State, your ACC tournament champion, NC State Wolfpack. I went with State in this one. I just think they're really hot right now. It was like I said, we are not a good matchup for State. Just because Burns just can bully Mondo, and if he gets in any kind of foul trouble, we don't have anybody to come in and defend him. Thomas's favorite role player, Jalen Washington, is not that guy just yet.
He can score on him, but
right,
he's not gonna defend him.
He's not gonna. He can't stop a nosebleed. R.I.P. to the great Coach Jones. Yeah, NC State's hot. I picked them. I think that's a very real candidate to be a Cinderella this year.
Yeah. I second that. I got NC State. Yep.
NC State. What do you have, John?
I feel like one of the biggest mistakes you can make when filling out a bracket is picking a really hot tournament team in the conference tournaments. But I too went with that team, NC State.
I think they're too hot right now. And Texas Tech's a team too inconsistent all year.
Mm-hmm.
I think 6 is real high for them to be seated that way.
Mac McClung is not jumping through that door.
Yeah, he only played one season there. So.
Well, it don't matter.
Next, we've got the Wildcats of Kentucky versus number 14 Oakland.
Yeah, was their favorite team.
Yeah, didn't you used to like Kentucky, John?
I went through a phase where I kind of liked Kentucky.
I thought so. I couldn't.
I don't know.
It was a long time ago.
During the year they had AD and Towns and
nah, it was
probably.
Yeah, it was that good year they had. I didn't really like the Harrison twins.
When Drake got into him, John got into him. They're the same person.
John got into him.
I don't like
Drake got into him. Drake does what John does.
I'm Team Kanye.
That is true per his older podcast.
It's true, yeah. Yeah. Can't confirm. I'm in Kentucky. I think there's going to be too much for Oakland. I think Kentucky's has the best recruiter in the nation running their squad, but I also think he's a bottom half coach. I think they've got the talent to get past Oakland, but I don't have them. I don't have them beating State next round.
I have Kentucky winning. All 5 of their starters average double figures. Second highest scoring team in the country. They haven't made it to Sweet 16 since 2019, so we'll see how everybody's picks go going forward in the second round. But I have them winning.
Clean sweep,
Yep.
Thomas.
Yep, I got Kentucky.
Okay, we've got 7 Florida. Who won the Boise Colorado game?
They played, I think, tomorrow.
Play tomorrow.
So, we can go ahead if you want.
I mean, I'll pick Florida. Most time in these games, I just pick whoever is already in there for no reason really, other than that name is already there.
I have Boise State, Colorado winning this one. Yeah, I just think that Florida is another team that I've been really high on at times this year, and they let me down. I think no matter who wins between Colorado and Boise State, you're going to have a team that's not been there that much. Boise State has never even won a NCAA tournament game. I think Boise State could end up beating Colorado and winning the first round. If not, I still have Colorado. I just think both of those teams are just going to be hungry for it, and Florida's just too inconsistent.
Yeah, I got Colorado over Boise State, then Colorado over Florida. Florida in their last game did just lose their best offensive rebounder, 7'1" center. I think he was a big piece for them, and they're kind of their whole thing is their rebounding, and they lost one of their best ones. So yeah, I think Florida's going to struggle. They haven't played without that guy yet, so I'm going with Colorado or Boise, but I think it's going to be Colorado. They're a good team.
I too have Colorado over Florida.
Okay, well I'm on my island by myself. Then that's fine. Oh,
At least you have Florida, though. Nice place.
Yeah, I agree. Marquette versus Western Kentucky. I have a preseason future on Marquette, national champion, so I went with Marquette for solely that reason, and probably because they're a little bit better than Western Kentucky also, but mostly because of the future.
It's going to be funny to see them against UNC at the end. If that's the case.
That's called hedging your happiness. I've got 3 futures out. I've got 3 futures.
Oh, man. I had Marquette winning as well. Howard Pollock, I think he's one of the better players in the country. I just think that Marquette in big games this year have played great, besides when they played UConn. But I don't think they'll play UConn unless it's in the national championship. So, I had Marquette winning this one.
Go ahead, John.
I have Shuffle Smart. Hasn't been to the Final Four. Hasn't been past the round of 32 since that year at VCU. But
Wow.
I think they'll take care of business against the Hilltoppers there.
I did not realize that.
Who was that point guard that VCU had that was so good?
He was
that
so
year?
good.
I just saw a thing today about him, where he's at.
Where's he at?
Man,
Oh, really? I
he's
can't
like
remember his name.
assistant coach or something.
I just remember watching him and
Yeah.
in
He
awe.
was so good that year, yeah.
So fast. Yeah. But yeah, I got Marquette too.
Okay, we've got 1 Purdue versus a 16 seed play-in game winner, MTST/Graham. Is that Graham up the road here?
Yeah, Graham High School.
Graham High School. Okay, so everybody went with Graham, obviously, right?
Good marching band.
They want
Okay, well,
the play-in to be in the play-in game against
something.
Northwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do a good job recruiting at Graham High School, I've heard. So,
Okay.
I think that unfortunately, the run comes to an end in the first round. It's something you don't see in Southwest Virginia, and that's 7-2 people. So I think that Zach Yee is going to end up playing a pretty good game.
Okay. Yeah. In agreement?
lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice, I've been told.
I think this is going to be a good matchup. 8-9. The Utah State versus TCU. What do you think, Thomas?
I think
What's your notes say?
my notes say that
Do we need to come back?
that TCU has lost. I got it.
Okay.
That
I didn't
TCU,
mean to put you on the spot. My bad, dog.
yeah, that TCU has lost 5 of their last 8 games. Utah State has a star of a small forward there. I think he's a small forward. But yeah, I think yeah, I'm gonna go with Utah State. TCU has struggled lately, so
Yeah, I'm with you. I went with Utah State as well. TCU's playing really bad right now. They are the opposite of what you want to be when the tournament starts. So just for that reason, I went with Utah State.
I'm going with Utah State. I love Utah State. And
Of course you
more
do.
as the tournament goes on here. But they won the
interesting.
regular season championship, Mountain West. And I think Mountain West is great this year. They're the Mountain West Player of the Year. Great Osborne. They hold their opponents to just 29% shooting from the field. I think offensively and defensively they play great.
Yeah.
Against Quad 1 teams this year, they're 8-6. I think that's still pretty good. But other than that, against Quad 3 and 4, they were 17-9. So I've just been really impressed with them. I've watched them play a few times. One of the games I watched them play was against San Diego State, and they failed. That was at San Diego State, which is a real hard place to play. But I have them winning this one, and just keep an eye out for them going forward. I promise there.
What region would you consider Utah to be in? Would you consider it like of the country? You really tend to lean toward the West Coast. You're I've noticed you have a thing for the West Coast darlings.
An affinity, if you will.
But all those are great points too. I'm not trying to take that away from you. You and your thumbs up.
I mean, we haven't got to the final. I mean, there was nobody, I think, since the 1970s hasn't won a national championship from the Midwest.
I know it. Yeah,
so,
it's crazy. I saw that
I'm
earlier.
picking them to win the championship. So
I don't know how they get through Purdue, but we get everybody on that one. Do we get you, John? Okay. Well, Cameron took up everybody's time on that one, so we'll just you can make it up on the next one. Gonzaga versus McNeese. Anybody? What's the feeling here?
I don't like Gonzaga. I don't think they're good this year, but I still think they're going to win.
Think they're better than McNeese?
I do.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I think it could be close. I mean, McNeese, they did beat UAB this year. UAB ain't a bad team. They're in the tournament. But I'm going with Gonzaga too.
I too don't think Gonzaga is very good, but they're very far in my bracket, which makes me nervous. But I got the Zags.
Yeah, I said earlier that other bracket was going to be the one that messed me up, but this one is really going to mess me up, I think.
McNeese does have the former LSU coach who
Coach O
didn't really. No, the guy that recruited Ben Simmons, Will Wade.
You wonder where Coach O is?
Yeah,
I think he's in
a better place than all 4 of us.
Still getting paid for Joe Burrow that year, though.
Kansas versus Samford. I know Kansas lost a very important piece officially today.
Yeah.
I still think they have enough firepower to get through Samford, though.
I really wanted to go with Samford. I was looking them up. They are like one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country, which can bode well in tournament when it comes to upsets.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot something crazy like 48% from 3 or something. Probably not that much, but they shoot really well from 3. And Kansas just lost a star, but I couldn't. Samford also has only played 2 top 100 teams, and they got destroyed by both of them. So I'm gonna stick with Kansas. I think they still got enough.
Yeah, I do want to mention I'm trying to actually send memory bracket to myself so I can look at them. Jamar does have Samford upsetting Kansas in the first round, so I do want to mention that. I have Kansas myself, but he does have Samford winning that one.
Does he have Sanford in the Elite Eight?
Stay tuned. We'll see.
So yeah, I mean, like, he's not even here, and it's not a big reveal.
Bring the excitement.
Did we get you, John?
Samford likes to play fast, and I think Kansas is not a very good team. They're very overrated. I, in memory of our good friend Jamar, also went with Samford.
R.I.P. Jamar.
He was a
Very
good guy.
possible. Very possible upset. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
That'd be cool. I don't really.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm not
I didn't
familiar
pick
with
it.
Kansas.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go South Carolina, Oregon now, 6 versus 11. I'm sure Cameron picked Oregon, so I'll go ahead and get that out of there for him. He's that region of the country. He's just a big fan of. I went South Carolina. This is one of those I could see it going either way, but I think ultimately I decided to. I think the safer pick was South Carolina.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. This one I struggled with more than just about any of them. Just looking, both of them can be good, and both of them have been pretty bad. South Carolina had that one really good streak earlier in the year. That's
This is why you don't have a podcast anymore, Cameron. This is terrible.
Sorry.
Why did you?
Phone's about to die.
Oh man.
Okay. Anyway, I got Oregon. They're hot right now. They beat Arizona and Colorado recently. South Carolina looked really good that 1 week earlier that they beat Kentucky and Tennessee in the same week. Other than that, I haven't been impressed, so I'm going Oregon.
I went with South Carolina on this one.
I'm kind of, John mentioned earlier, kind of fall in love with sometimes the conference tournament too much. And I think that Oregon's kind of the example of that. I think a lot of people can be high on Oregon because of that following. I just think South Carolina this year, they struggled against Alabama, but they also had some good wins. And I think that they're having probably the better years they've had maybe ever. So I'm going with them, South Carolina.
Okay, we've got a 3-14 matchup here. This is another future that I have out on the Creighton Blue Jays national championship winner. So again, if it's not Carolina or Caleb Love, then I wouldn't mind to see Creighton in there or Marquette. My other future's on Arizona. But yeah, I've got Creighton in this one per my futures.
Yeah, I really like Creighton. Good offense, good defense.
Had some impressive run last year.
Could use
going to build off of that.
Yeah, could use more bench, but I think they're solid. Good offense, good defense.
And I think this is a Creighton group that's been together a while. Obviously, they had that good run last year. I always have liked the Blue Jays.
Says the man with the Orioles hat on.
Yeah.
Jose Bautista, baby.
I mean, they have a really good guy, good player in Calibringer, Creighton. So I think we're going to watch out for. Have them win as well.
Texas versus UVA. Sorry. Okay, Texas versus CSU. Who are y'all playing, Cameron? Tell us how the game's going so far. I can hear it.
Yeah, it's not
Sounds ugly.
Good. I had Colorado State winning this one.
What a true fan.
Wow.
I told y'all in the group, we're just too inconsistent.
I don't know how you wear that shirt.
I mean,
I don't know how you wear it anyways. Look at it.
I want us to win, but I know it was better than, better than anybody. I just didn't. This matchup was not a good matchup for us. Colorado State, they haven't been here. They were coming in with a lot of energy. They were ready. I have them going against Texas, but I do have Texas with the win on that one. They got a guy named Max Abrams, or I guess Abrams, Moss. Moss. I don't know. Anyway, they got Max from Texas,
Whoa.
and he played for the Oral Robert Golden Eagles, and had a pretty good game or a few good games in 2021, 2023. So he's been a big time NCAA tournament guy with them. And he's transferred over. I think he's going to have another good tournament. They're going to beat Colorado State.
I think it's going to be a little harder for Colorado State when they play Texas because UVA's only scored 3 touchdowns this far. Okay, they've got 23 now. But I got
Root for two.
Colorado State beating Texas.
Well,
Yeah.
that
I think-
sounds fun.
Yeah, I think Colorado State's a pretty good team, but I went with Texas too. They got that really good big that you were talking about. They also have a really good guard. I think it's a good combination, good in and out, inside out team. I got Texas too. Experience.
Yeah, I went with Texas as well. The last matchup of the first round, we've made it through 32 of these. Tennessee versus St. Peter's.
I got Tennessee.
Anybody on the St. Peter's train?
I wanted to. It would just be so Tennessee to lose
It
in the
would.
first round,
That's very true. Yes.
but I couldn't go against it. I think I'm going Tennessee over.
Yeah.
I think Dalton's too good. I
Yeah.
think that he pulled him through.
Yeah. I'm with Tennessee too. John, Tennessee.
I'll be Rocky Top of me.
Okay then. So round of 32.
Side note, y'all remember listening to the Rocky Top song by the guy that had wrote it? The one that can remember his family's name on stage.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He said, "Hey, introduce your band." He's like, started freezing up there. Yeah, but it's still cool. Cool to see.
Yeah, it was cool. I got a really sick shirt. Anyway, so no, it doesn't have Rocky Top on it. It says the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, yeah.
We'll kind of run through these quick. The round of 32, I think, is the least exciting round, just because it's not Sweet 16 or Elite 8 or Final Four or the first round when all the crazy stuff happens.
It's a
And we've already
terrific 32.
Yeah, so like I said, we'll run through this kind of quick. We've already went over a lot of these teams. First matchup we have. What do you guys have next? So I've got UConn versus
it's fun.
Northwestern.
I've
I've got UConn winning that. Yeah.
I've got UConn beating FA.
Yeah, UConn's the best team in the country. So. Well, second best.
I was gonna say no, they're not. What? Okay, San Diego State versus Auburn for me next. I have San Diego State winning this one.
I too have the Aztecs.
I think they can make a run.
I have Auburn beating San Diego State in this one. I think they're really hot right now. And for the opposite reason, I said for Oregon, but I think that
just move the goalpost, Cameron. It's fine.
Yeah, I think
it used to be your podcast.
Something special about Auburn this year. I have Auburn winning this one.
I got Auburn too. Like I said, I love the way they play. A lot of fight. Bruce Pearl's going to get the most out of his guys, so I got Auburn.
If you get creative, Cam, you can turn that shirt into an Auburn shirt for the next 2 weeks.
I'd probably just stick that in the back of the closet for a while.
Yeah.
At least 23 days. How many points you guys have now?
We got 25. We're on a 4-0 run, thank you.
Okay, next I've got BYU over Illinois. I think we might be onto something here. Sweet 16 appearance for BYU.
I have Illinois beating BYU. I think Illinois is the team that they've been in Sweet 16 since 05. This year, I just feel something different about them. First Turner Jr. averaged 21 points per game. I think that it's going to be too much for the Fighting Mormons. I have Illinois.
John?
I too have BYU. Before the Mormons went to Utah, they spent some time in Illinois, and it did not go well there for them. That's why they went to Utah. So this is Joseph Smith's revenge, BYU.
Can you top that, Thomas?
I'm also taking the golden scrolls or tablets or whatever of Joseph Smith, and taking the Fighting Joseph Smiths.
I like it. Okay, I've got Iowa State. Drake's Cinderella run. This Cinderella story of Drake doesn't get in the door to the ball. She had a fake ID. Iowa State over Drake in the second round. Anybody take it?
Yeah,
Don't be afraid of it.
State. I think their defense is too good. I think scoring. I think they're battle tested. Scoring wise, I think they'll have it. I have them beating Drake, and I don't think it'll be a close one.
Wow, shots fired at Drake.
It'll be close.
Yeah.
He does like to do everything John does, so.
I have Iowa State knocking off the Pac-2 champions, Washington State.
That is
I got Iowa State. Sorry, Drake, but yeah, this is not the Cinderella story for them.
Not the best he ever had.
Going with the stepsisters in this one.
We're all in agreement North Carolina's the best team in the nation, correct? So everybody should have the same thing on this one, right?
They play Mississippi State.
Michigan State. Yeah.
I do think that I think the UNC Mississippi State game for me, I think it'll be a good one. I think that UNC will be better because of this game, because it's going to, I think, put them in a dogfight, just like Mississippi State's going to do with Michigan State. But I have UNC winning. But like I said, I think they're going to be better off for it.
Thomas?
Yeah, I got Carolina.
Yeah, naturally. John?
I too have your Carolina Tar Heels.
Next, I've got St. Mary's over Charleston. The Charleston, South Carolina / West Virginia, wherever this Charleston is from. The story's over for them. St. Mary's picks up the win.
The same matchup. St. Mary's wins, yeah.
I've got the 12-13 game here, Grand Canyon and Charleston. I'm taking Grand Canyon.
Slobber knocker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have Alabama and St. Mary's. St. Mary's has won 23 of the last 25 games. However, I think that Alabama, again, is going to be able to put up too many points. No defense being played again.
So this is another over?
I think this is another over. I think that Alabama's going to win this one.
So I know I said this, like I said, when I filled this bracket out, I was just, whatever. And my reasoning for picking Clemson in the first round was just because. But I do have Clemson beating Baylor in this one. So I don't know why I did that. But, I'm not going to go back on it now. It kind of feels like it's locked in. So we're just going to say P.J. Hall has another big game.
Yeah, I have New Mexico and Baylor in this one. And like I said before, Baylor can go either way. I think they got some pretty good guards. But again, I think New Mexico, they have a lot of athletes in the court. I think they can match up well with them. New Mexico winning an upset.
This is a border matchup here between New Mexico and Baylor. I too have New Mexico.
Yeah, I got Clemson Baylor here. Really could go either way. I don't love either team. I think Clemson has a really high ceiling. They got that. I forgot his name. The guy that seems like he's been in college for like 10 years. Shooter. If he gets hot, I think he can pair well with the great bigs that Clemson has. I'm going to go with Clemson too here. I tend to lean towards the ACC tournament time. But yeah, I think Clemson has a really high ceiling. They got a good team.
Who was that guy? I mean, you mentioned them having a guy that's been there forever. I remember, I think when we were in high school, they had a guard that was a last out shooter, and he felt like he was there forever. Do you remember that guy?
Oglesby.
Yeah, I think it was him.
Yeah.
He was there forever.
He
Didn't
was.
they
I can't
have
believe I remembered that.
Boeheim's son too, didn't they? For a
They
while.
did, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, next I have the Fighting Caleb Loves over the Flyers. I'm just not going to bet against Caleb Love. I'm just not going to do it.
Nope, not tournament
Go
time.
ahead, Thomas.
I got Arizona. I love Arizona.
I do too.
They got huge bigs. They've got great guards. They really have it all. So yeah, I got Arizona.
John?
Another border clash here. I've got Arizona beating Nevada.
The man loves
Cameron,
geography.
is your mouth empty now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I have Arizona winning against Nevada. I think that y'all mentioned Caleb Love. I think that he's a difference than what they had last year. You know, they got upset by Princeton last year in the tournament, and I think if you had a guy like Caleb Love, that probably wouldn't happen. He's just a guy that can go out and get buckets and he may shoot it 50 times a game, but he's going to get something.
All right, Jake, that's enough.
Yeah, I'm going to have Arizona beating them.
Okay, the South, I have Houston over Texas A&M in this one. I think Houston is Houston is really, really good. I think I went with a lot of the ones, but I think this year I think the ones are better this year than what they usually are. I think the top seeds are very, very powerful this year in the tournament. So I went with Houston in this one.
I have Houston over Nebraska.
I think that, in a way, we're in a time where it's kind of changing, but I think the top seeds, I think everybody's kind of at risk of losing past the first round. I think that when we were in high school, you had those strong Kentucky teams and some other teams that just felt like they were so unbeatable. I don't know. I've seen Houston lose some games this year. I didn't think they would. Same for Purdue and some others. But with that being said, I do think it'd be a close game against Nebraska. I think they have a lot of motivation going into this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if they upset Houston. But I have Houston winning in a close one.
Yeah, I don't love Houston overall. They've looked amazing at times this year, but yeah, I do have them over Texas A&M in this round.
Next, I have the Badgers from Wisconsin taking down the Devils from Durham. I don't like Duke. I'm just not gonna. I'm kind of like Jay Moore in football season. Just whoever he don't like, he just doesn't pick. So that's where I'm going with this one.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Jay Moore.
My prediction is everybody's going to be on the JMU bandwagon after they pulled the upset in the first round. They are going to be the team that the country is in love with going against the villain of the country and Duke. And I think that that villain role in particular for Kolkowski is just going to get much, much bigger. I think he's going to have a good game now. I think he's going to talk a little bit of trash and really make people hate him even more. So I have Duke winning this one.
You better watch out for people running.
Sure.
He watches for him.
Yeah, here comes in.
Yeah, I got Duke. That's all I'm saying.
He does a Kendrick Lamar and looks back at it while they're running.
I don't have Duke here to be beat because the Catamounts from Vermont beat them. And as one of those people on that bandwagon in love with 5'5" James Madison, I have the Dukes of James Madison, plural Dukes, advancing to the Sweet 16. JMU over Vermont.
JMU for life. The next one is I have NC State over Kentucky. I said it earlier. I think NC State is really hot right now. I think Kentucky at their best is really good. Kentucky not at their best is not, to me, just not that impressive. I know they beat us earlier in the year. We played probably one of our worst games of the year in that game. And like I said, Cal, I just don't believe in Cal. He's been at Kentucky for years, and he has one ring to show for it, and he should have 6. So I went with that old horn boy to upset the Wildcats.
Yeah, I hate this bracket. Don't like this this part of the bracket, but I'm going Kentucky. Kentucky's been really good against the good teams this year, and I think as the tournament goes along, that could bode well for them. I think NC State eventually has to feel the fatigue of 5 games in 5 days, and then straight into the tournament. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Kentucky here. Not because I want to.
Same thing that I said. Just my reasoning. Kentucky winning.
John?
I have NC State over Kentucky.
Smart man.
I like upsets.
Hey, you only live once. You only get to do brackets
All
like
right, Drake. Drake's like me too.
you only get to
way
do
ahead.
like 70 brackets in your life. You might as well live dangerously.
You're either going to be way ahead in your group or main.
Well, it'll free up the rest of my March if I'm wrong.
He's planning for the future here. You only live once, but I'm going to plan for the future just in case you don't. Next, I have Marquette defeating Florida. Like I said, I got the future on Marquette, so I'm going to roll with them. I think they're a really good team. So I've got them over the Gators.
Yeah, I've got Marquette. Yeah, I like Colorado, but I do have Marquette. I think they're a really good team. But it does worry me. Kolek is hurt, right? Isn't he?
I don't know that because the research I had done, he was mentioned quite a bit, so I'm not sure. I think he's still playing.
I think he's playing, but I don't think he's 100%. Yeah.
Well, I think
that worries.
The way he plays, he doesn't have to be the scorer. I feel like he can still facilitate and run the offense. But I don't know what he's hurt either. So
yeah, I got Marquette.
What you got, John?
One of my favorite animals is the buffalo, so I'm going with Colorado. I just changed this one. Colorado over Marquette. Shaka hasn't been this far in a long time, so Deion Sanders gets the upset.
Prime time, baby.
Here we go, Cameron. This is your game to shine. Who you got? Purdue, Utah State.
Utah State.
Naturally.
I think they
are
a smart team. I think they're very well played. Have them beaten Purdue? I think Purdue, just like last year, I mean, if you can stop Zach Edey, I just think that they don't impress me everywhere else as much. Now, if you can't stop him and he controls the game, then I mean, it is what it is. You're going to lose. I just think the IQ Utah State, and they're battle tested too. I think they're ready for this. Utah State.
Yeah, I took Purdue in this one. I just think they have too much firepower. I just don't know if Utah State's going to be able to hang with them or not. That's pretty much it. John, we lost John. There's John.
Yeah, I really don't like this. I hate the last bracket, but I hate this one even more. This is my least favorite.
You hate them all?
I've not heard you say.
I don't think
there's any region on here that you don't hate. Actually,
no, I like the first. I like the East and West. I like East and West regions. Okay, it's the South and Midwest I don't like, especially the Midwest. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Purdue. I think Utah State pressing their pressure defense could rattle Purdue a little bit, slow them down. But I think Purdue's point guard has actually gotten quite a bit better. So I'm gonna go with Purdue in this one.
John.
Well, the year after UVA famously got upset as the number 1 seed, the following year they won the title, right, Cameron?
That is correct.
They walked and double dribbled and phantom 3-point foul.
I didn't hear
their
the
way
last
all the
you
way
say
to the
this,
title
but
game.
to confirm what you said, John, they did win the title. There is a trophy
You heard it.
in Charlottesville.
Listen,
That
this
was
is my
the
podcast
last-
now. I'll kick you out of here.
You're right, John. Continue with your line of.
Probably
Yeah.
probably the second best day in Charlottesville in the last 10 years or so. But other than that, I'm going with Purdue over Utah State. I don't know what Cameron said in this second stint about Utah State, but
He picked him.
Yeah, I picked.
I figured it'd be a good time to go. So I'll go with the famous chicken farms. A lot of farm medicine produced there. I'll go with Purdue.
Okay. The next matchup I have is Kansas over the Zags. I don't like Kansas, but I think that they have, over the years, they've proven that they can win. Bill Self is probably one of the, I don't know, top 20 coaches ever. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit higher, maybe say 15.
Yeah, I would say. Well,
I think I had to go with Kansas on this one. Now that who was it that is out for the tournament?
I can't pull it up because I have my phone, but I put it in the group.
McCullough. Yeah.
That is going to hurt them a lot, and this bracket was made pre that, but I still think they have enough to get it done against Purdue here.
Yeah. I'm filling my bracket out as we go. I only picked the first round, but I got Gonzaga here. With the injury of Kansas, I don't like either of these teams. I think they're both disappointing teams and overrated, but I'm going to go with Gonzaga. Also, just a great tournament team. Kansas, Gonzaga, both of them. But I think the injury to Kansas and their inconsistency this year and inefficiency on offense, I'm going to go with Gonzaga.
I'm going with Kansas. I agree with what you said. Two overrated teams, I think. But I am going. Kansas has had a few good wins this year. I know they lost their star guy, but they had other pieces to make plays in those games. So I have them winning this one, but I don't feel great about it. I don't feel great about either one of those teams. I have Kansas beating Gonzaga.
Cam keeps talking about the dogfight that Mississippi State's gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
This matchup, I've got a battle of the Bulldogs. I got Gonzaga over Sanford in a real dogfight.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Vick will be in attendance.
No.
Okay, on
Georgia
to
Bulldogs didn't make it.
yeah, go Kansas. Shout out Cody Hubbard's mom. Next matchup, I've got the Blue Jays over the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Like I said, again, it just comes back to my money here. I think they're going to build on the run that they had last year. I think they can do it again.
My most recent tattoo was a Blue Jay, and I'm going to go with the Blue Jays over Oregon on this one. Didn't love Oregon in the first round. Definitely don't like them in the second round.
Lots of birds over here. Ducks, Blue Jays, Gamecocks. Blue Jays, very aggressive songbird, I've been told. I've got Creighton beating the Gamecocks there.
I think you need a Gamecock too.
No, thank you.
Big Gamecock, right? Kneecap.
I have South Carolina winning this one. Like I said, I think they've had a great year so far. I think the tournament's kind of a time before you start it, you can reflect a little bit and put your season in perspective. And I think that there's a lot of motivation going forward and a lot of momentum. Have them upsetting Creighton.
It's a bad pick.
Yeah, I don't like that, but it's your bracket, buddy. I have next. I have Tennessee over Texas. I'm not
Will
Jay
be
Moore, and I don't refuse to pick Tennessee. So I think Tennessee is the better team here. So I went with Tennessee.
I think Tennessee's a very good team. I picked Tennessee to beat Colorado State here.
Yeah, I got Tennessee as well. It's going to be the ugliest game I've ever watched with the two oranges.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the lighter orange on the later Rocky Top.
Yeah, I'm going with Tennessee. I think he's going to continue to have a good tournament throughout, and have them beating Texas and probably putting a final stamp on Rodney Terry, I think is the coach's name for Texas. I think after a good run last year, kind of got him the job, but I think that he's been on the hot seat this year. So I think that he'll be gone after this. Tennessee.
Okay. On to the Sweet 16 now. The top of the bracket, I have number 1 UConn versus San Diego State. I went with San Diego State in this one.
Rematch from last
I
year's game.
think maybe UConn has a little dip. I think they're really good. But you never know what happens in March. I think San Diego State's right there in the sweet spot of not really a Cinderella, but obviously they're going to go into this as the dog. I think they pull off the upset.
I have UConn over San Diego State.
Yeah, I have UConn as well over Auburn. I really want Auburn. Like I said, I think they're going to play harder than everybody else, but UConn's just so talented.
I have Auburn upset on UConn. I think that, kind of Logan said, I think they have a bit of a dip in this one. I think that they are a great team. I don't think that they're the team that was on the court last year. I think last year's team was just a little bit more superior. I think that defensively, UConn was better last year. I think this year Auburn's defense is going to pull them ahead against UConn. Towards the end of the year, they were beating teams by an average of 15 points, holding opponents just at 38% shooting, which is fifth lowest in the country. So I think going against UConn, I think they're going to win that one. It'll be a good defensive game. I have Auburn coming out with it. And Grace Pearl, early at the end of the game, are very aggressive. Bit of a storyline there.
Everybody go on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I lost it. Here we go. I have Iowa State over BYU. Again, this time when you get to this point in the bracket, I feel like you know, for the most part, what you've got. Iowa State's been a pretty solid team all year. I think they keep rolling against Birmingham Young University.
I have Iowa State winning against Illinois. I think Illinois does a pretty good run to the Sweet 16, which I think not where they want to finish, but they ran in Iowa State. And I love Iowa State. I think that defensively they play great all year. They have the number 1 in the country in steals per game. I think they're up there in the top 5 or something with points per lab, and their competition has been just as good as anybody's. So I have Iowa State beating Illinois.
What's up, Thomas? Never mind. Go ahead, John. No, you go.
My bad. I went back and forth on this one. Two Big 12 teams here. I got BYU keeping the magic flowing there.
Yeah, I believe Iowa State's going to beat BYU here. Yeah, no, I'm out of jokes. I don't have any more Mormon jokes. Turns out I don't know much about that religion.
Well, if they make this run, you've got time to learn some stuff about it. So, yeah.
I think
Keep posted on how that goes.
BYU is going to soak it all in. They're going to keep this run rolling there.
Okay.
Exciting game for the next one.
Yeah, I've got North Carolina over St. Mary's here. I'm just going to go ahead and let you in on a little secret. I think North Carolina's going to win. I think it would be a shame if Armando Bacot was at North Carolina for 18 years and did not leave with a title. So I think this is. I mean, he's not getting a 6th year, so might as well make it happen this year.
Yeah, I got him. I got him over Grand Canyon in this one. I do hate it. If Grand Canyon was in a different region, I think they could be my Cinderella team going far, but they just ran into the juggernaut.
Best player in the country.
Yep, oldest player in the country.
2 of the oldest players in the country. Cormac's older than we
Right,
are.
you're right. You're right.
I have UNC over St. Mary's.
I have UNC beating Alabama. Sears and it's going to be a good matchup. I think they're kind of cancel each other out. I see Bacot having a 20-20 game in this one. There's going to be a lot of shots put up. I think he's going to have a big game and have UNC winning.
All right.
Okay, I have next. I have Arizona, obviously over Clemson. I know I've said it for the last 3 rounds, but it's Caleb Love. Until the next round, I'm not going to bet against him. So, I mean, that Arizona team is just too talented, I think.
Yeah, I think Clemson, what's gotten them this far, has been beating their big guys, beating and banging people around, but they're going to run into some bigger guys in Arizona, and
Yep.
it's not going to work for them. I got Arizona over Clemson in here.
Another border clash here. I've got Arizona over New Mexico. I really thought about getting the Lobos through, but
I was watching Fox News when they filled out the bracket.
It's almost by design at this point.
I think there's a lot
purposeful.
of Southwest teams over here. I've got Arizona beating New Mexico.
I went with the upset. I have the Lobos beating Arizona. I just like athletic teams when it comes to tournament time, the ones that can bring players on the 3-point line. I think that Caleb Love's going to put up a lot of shots in this one. I just think he's not going to be hot enough in this game. I have the Lobos pulling off the upset.
See, I think that's going to happen in the next round, personally. But, that's fine too. If you want to be wrong, it's your $20 million, not mine. So next I have Houston over Wisconsin. The only reason Wisconsin's here, I really don't know why they're here, honestly. Basically because they played Duke last round, and I was just ready to get Duke off my phone screen. I think Houston moves on to the Elite 8 here.
Yeah, I got Houston here too. Sorry, Cam.
I have Houston over Duke.
Same here. My Elite 8 is really boring so far. I had a lot of upsets in the first couple of rounds, but now it's like 1-2, 1-2. But yeah, I got Houston over Duke here. Duke's not that good.
I've got a couple Cinderellas still dancing at this point, but maybe my favorite one goes home at this point. I have Houston beating James Madison.
That's tough to hear.
Very, very rough time here in the
R.I.P. James Madison, 4th president.
Your ball must be open to the public.
5'5".
All kinds of people dancing. All kinds of teams.
We want to have a good time.
Don't even try to cover. Next round, I have Marquette over NC State. I think Marquette has too much talent. I think NC State's going to be gassed by this point in the Sweet 16. The run that they had to go basically just to get into the tournament to win the ACC tournament. I think they run out of gas. Maybe Horn has a off night or something, but I think this is where their run ends, and pretty much my bracket turns into good teams.
I think at this point in the tournament, like we're all making our picks and we're all very helpful at the moment, but by this point in real life, your bracket, you're not even looking at it. It's so bad.
No.
And one of the best sights to see in March, besides baby animals and all that jazz, is when you've got 2 double-digit seeds playing each other, because you're guaranteed, you don't even care who's playing, you're guaranteed chaos here. And that's what I've got. I've got NC State beating the Buffaloes, my
Mm.
favorite animal. So Cinderella, one of them, keeps on dancing.
Where are wolves on your list of animals?
Well, I think wolves are pretty cool. I do like the NC State logo. That's that's the classic big bad wolf blowing down
It
the
is.
pig's
That's
house.
what it
there.
is. It's
I had Marquette beating Kentucky. I just think experience can play a part in this one, and Marquette wins it.
I got Kentucky over Marquette. Just think Kentucky plays really well against good teams.
the last two in the Sweet 16. I have Purdue going down to Kansas. Again, this was pre them losing one of their best players, but I'm just going to roll with it. Like I said, I'm no point backing out now. So let's rock chalk Jayhawks for a while anyway.
I had Utah State upsetting Kansas in this
Naturally.
one. They
Wow.
continue their story. Like I said, in my opinion, one of my favorite teams going into this year, or going into this tournament. I love them from this year. So I have them upsetting Kansas.
Your bracket's
Yeah,
going to be terrible if they lose in the first round.
Oh, yeah, that's my sense.
Go ahead, Thomas. It's my show.
Yeah, I got Purdue here. Purdue over Gonzaga. I'm not crazy about Purdue, but I don't like Gonzaga even more. So Gonzaga's only here because Kansas is missing a player, and both of them are overrated to start with. So I'm going with Purdue.
So you guys are all zigging. I'm zagging. I got Gonzaga over Purdue.
Oh, man.
I'm glad somebody zagged, John. We all
Somebody's
can't be
got to do
zigging
it.
here.
It's the last match,
Right. Elite Eight.
16.
Oh, do we? Oh, no. You're right.
Sweet 16.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Creighton and Tennessee here for me. I have Creighton, the Blue Jays. There's a lot of Blue Jays at my house. The girls love to watch them. And they fly around here and they beat each other up. Somebody said Blue Jays are aggressive. They're super aggressive. They fight all the time here. And I feel like they're gonna fight the Volunteers in Tennessee and come out victorious.
Yeah, I'm going with the more aggressive. I think we've met them in the game. And I think they're going to upset Tennessee. Tennessee has a little bit of promise. Getting the people in this area pretty excited. Maybe they might make a deep run, but I think South Carolina is going to win this one. I think they looked real good in SEC play this year, except against Alabama. South Carolina upset Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee is at their worst when people start to get their hopes up. So I got Creighton over Tennessee here.
I'm sorry, any Tennessee fans listening, y'all are the worst, man. Y'all are just like Cowboys fans. My God, your team is terrible every year. Just get over it. It's my podcast. I can say what I want, and Tennessee fans suck.
I mean, I kind of like the checkered, stuff and court and the field.
I think it's dumb.
Nothing against them here. Jay Morris on here, he'd say something different.
Go ahead, John. Tell us how Tennessee sucks.
I went back and forth on this, and you guys having a problem with Tennessee fans. I can't stand Creighton fans, man.
How many Creighton fans do you know? Just random.
Not any, but I'm sure there's a few in prison somewhere. I've got Creighton over Tennessee in this one.
All right, both of you Creighton fans. John is after you.
Better watch out.
Doug McDermott overrated.
Dougie McBuckets to you.
You said you hated Creighton fans, but then you picked Creighton, didn't you?
I did. My bad.
No, don't apologize, my guy.
Go Blue Jays. Joey Bats.
Getting down to the nitty gritty now.
Yeah, Elite Eight time. Now J-Mark gets to join us.
Yeah.
Elite Eight first matchup, I have Iowa State over San Diego State.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I just really like Iowa State. I think I like that team a lot. I think if they didn't run into North Carolina in the next round, I would probably have them in the national championship game. I think. But yeah, Iowa State over San Diego State for me. You go, John. Let's hear you. What you got?
Well, the magic underwear runs out for the Mormons in this one. I got UConn.
Yeah, I got UConn here. I just think UConn is really good. Pretty much it. I just think they're good. I think the mid-season podcast we did, I said they were the best team, and I stand by it. Well, second.
Second best team, yeah.
I have Iowa State. Just to echo with what Logan said, I love Iowa State. I think the makeup, I think they play great defense, and they play great team. But and they're battle tested. I have them beating Auburn. If Auburn was in a different spot in this bracket, I might would have them playing possibly in the Final Four, or maybe even in the championship. I really like Auburn too right now. But I have Iowa State winning. And then Jamar, taking in though, has UConn beating Iowa State in this round.
Okay, thank you for that, Jamar.
Yeah,
Nice
I
of you
do.
to
I
join
do
us.
love Auburn. I'm still going back and forth on that last round, the Auburn and UConn matchup, but yeah, I can't go against UConn.
Okay, this wasn't a tough one for me, but it did hurt. Looking down and seeing
It's gonna be hard to watch.
it is. It's just not going to be right. I went with North Carolina, obviously. I think if I'm not going to say anything bad about Caleb, but if I were going to say anything bad about Caleb, I would say that he has a tendency to force some shots, and I think I could very easily see him putting up 30 shots in this game. And I wouldn't blame him. I love the attitude. I love love the man. But yeah, I'm going with Carolina on this one.
Caleb Love, plays with the mentality he did with you all. So he hits a dagger at the end, and he's got the swagger going on. Does it change anything?
No,
Or is it just the most
no,
awful moment you can imagine?
just is what it is. We should have treated him better. Our fans shouldn't have been mean to him on Twitter.
Jamar on Twitter.
No, Jamar, no, I don't think so. I think Jamar's too soft to do that. He's not even an internet tough guy.
But he's an
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the best team in the country in this matchup,
UConn.
Carolina. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to watch, but yeah, I'm going with Carolina
It's
here.
gonna be miserable. I'm gonna hate it.
Everything Logan said.
Yeah, I have UNC winning against the Lobos. The New Mexico run ends in this round. I just think UNC, something that I've noticed with them, and I haven't watched them nearly as much as you all. But I
You
think
should. They're fun to watch.
I think they can obviously score, but I think defensively they're underrated, and I think that they'll be able to stop New Mexico. I do think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be probably in the 60s, somewhere through there. But I have UNC winning.
Have UNC over Arizona.
Just real quick on that defense comment. I think we're a top 15 offensive team and a top 30 defensive team or something like that. Defense has been excellent all year. They had the trap game before the Duke game, and then they went on a little skid after that. But there was a 8-game stretch where they didn't give up more than 60 points. So defensively, I mean, I think it's gonna help them a lot. And Jay Billis noted it a lot on the broadcast the other day, how this Carolina team is not like other Carolina teams because they're so good defensively. He's an
Yeah, they're
idiot.
gritty.
They play the game the right way.
That's all you can ask
So
for.
after that puke fest I had to endure, now we go to Marquette versus Houston. I know.
More picked UNC, by the way.
Yeah, I figured. Does he have? I did not finish my bracket.
Yeah. He had UNC over Arizona, so he had.
Yeah. Of course, he had that.
I think he put in the notes somewhere here that he hopes Love breaks his leg first.
Yeah, he probably did. He's a terrible person.
Not kind of fan of Flame or anything.
Yeah, he's a hater. It's fine. Next matchup I have number 1 versus number 2. Houston going up against Marquette. Like I said, my bracket is very top heavy. I went with Marquette in this one. I just have a feeling about Marquette. I really like Marquette. Pretty much all I got for you on that one. I think they're gonna edge out Houston here.
Yeah, I had the same matchup, and I agree. I think that Marquette beats Houston. I just think that Marquette's got that. Even though they haven't been here, it's almost like you feel like they have.
Feels like they have.
Yeah. That's the feeling I get from him, and I like Shaka Smart, and I think this is the time that he gets back here in the I guess in the Final Four.
What do you think, John?
I have Houston and NC State here. And of course, that's the famous 1983 NCAA championship game. The Jimmy V showed on ESPN a lot. I do think the Wolfpack magic runs out here, though, and I've got Houston going to the Final Four.
Yeah, I had Kentucky beating Marquette in the last round after Dwayne Wade was painting his nails and stuff. I'm going Kentucky over Houston in this one. I think Kentucky. I've said it every round so far. I believe that Kentucky plays good against good teams, and I think that's going to continue.
So when are they going to play bad against a good team? Is my question.
It's to be determined. To be determined. What do you think, Wildcat?
I was going to say, I got two things. One, I'll say Texas Tech versus Houston with the matchup game. Against Texas Tech beating Houston. Like, 4. John, I was curious, where's the Cougar at?
I was going to ask the same thing. Yeah.
In your annual rankings.
I don't think it's that unique of an animal, so it's kind of, in the middle.
Too many cats.
Pack.
I feel like young John would have had Cougars up there really high. I think he matured a lot.
My mind was the exact same place yours was. So.
No comment on those. Those comments.
Next matchup.
Final Four.
So we got one more, don't we?
We got one more? Oh, yeah. I've done that twice now.
Yeah. It's first.
I'm sorry. This is first time hosting a podcast. It's
Doing
pretty
great.
Crazy. I feel like I'm killing it, honestly.
Yeah.
Not to pat myself on the back or anything, but I'll give myself a coach right. This one I had the Blue Jays over the Jayhawks. This is a bird matchup. I'm sure John has some kind of funny thing to say about two birds matching up in the Elite Eight. I don't know. It's hard to say with John. I just feel like the experience last year really and like we said before, this Creighton team has been together for 27 years. So I went with Creighton in this one.
Yeah, no surprise here. From anybody that's been listening since the start of this podcast, I have Utah State. I have Utah State beating South Carolina, and what is the only, I guess, somewhat Cinderella, I guess, in my Final Four. They're an 8 seed. I think it'll be a good game. I really like both of them. Like I said, some of these teams, Iowa State, Utah State, and South Carolina, 4 teams that I really like, and maybe in different spots. I might have them going further, but I have Utah State beating South Carolina.
What did Jamar say?
Jamar had Tennessee, Rocky Top, surprisingly, beating Samford in the Elite Eight. Yeah, Samford.
He does know this is the men's basketball tournament, not the women's, right? He doesn't have to stand
He must really
Tennessee.
like them though, because he must have liked them as a team because he doesn't like them, as a fan. He hates them, so he must be really confident with them this year. So yeah, Tennessee over
They've got a
Stanford.
lot of talent.
Yeah.
All right, John, tell me something funny.
Well, I have Kansas losing in the first round, but some quick research I just did. Jayhawks aren't even real. They're mythical.
Oh. Maybe
But
I'll take a bird.
anyways,
That
I mean, that's
changes
just
everything.
Yeah,
somewhat
that's
goofy.
no wonder you had them losing in the first round.
Anyways, I've got Blue Jays versus Bulldogs here. And Bulldog's not the quickest of the canine species, as you are probably well aware. I don't think they could catch a Blue Jay. I'm going Creighton over Gonzaga.
Mm.
Yeah, they're the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I had planned on having Creighton over Purdue here because I've disliked Purdue since the start of the season, but here we are. And I think I'm going to go with Purdue. I think even though Creighton is very good offensively and defensively, a lot of experience together, I think the lack of depth, I think their starters are starting to get tired. I'm going with Purdue.
Thomas, I appreciate
Takes a lot of
your.
takes a lot of effort to slow down a 7'2" Zach Edey. You have to lean on him, push on him, and beat and bang, and they're going to be so tired by then. So I'm going with Purdue.
Appreciate your willingness to not play the fence. Like you either really hate a team or you really like them. So
Yeah,
we
there's no middle ground.
He hates his side of the bracket too.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah, hate the Midwest.
Anybody out there listening in the Midwest, he hates you.
Midwest emo is the worst kind of emo too.
All right.
Resty's checking in.
No, I'm good. We're not interested in that. It's my podcast now. He didn't show. He don't get talked about.
Well,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you. The matchup he has in the
See how
Final Four
dumb this is.
Auburn versus Arizona. He has Arizona winning, and then that's why I'm talking. I'll just go ahead and tell you. But I have Iowa State versus UNC. I have Iowa State beating UNC in this one. I just think defensively, I think they're able to slow Davis down enough, and I have Iowa State winning.
Yeah, I have Iowa State too. No, I'm just kidding. North Carolina, best player in the country. Armando Cormac, he's 35 years old. He's the same age as the Carolina Panthers' best receiver. There's a lot of good things going for us. Experience, man. I think experience in tournament time really matters. That's why my national championship game is going to be the two oldest combined teams probably ever playing against each other. But I've got North Carolina in this one.
I've got Carolina. Two best teams. I wish this could be the championship. It should be. I think these are the two best teams, UConn and Carolina. I really hate how many 1 seeds I have in my Final Four. I got 3 1s, which I did not want, but I could not pick against Carolina or UConn. But yeah, I'm going with Carolina here. Best team over the next best team. Two best teams. Two great teams.
That's a national championship
game. Yeah, I'm going Carolina.
I'll echo everything Thomas just said. I have UNC over UConn here.
What's Jamar got?
Yeah, so of course he let me find it here. Has UNC over UConn as well.
Okay, the last matchup of the Final Four. I've got the Blue Jays again coming out on top. Like I said 100 times already, the run that they had last year, I think, is really going to pay dividends for them this year. I think national championship bound. The experience matters.
But blue.
Well, I like blue. There's only one blue though. It's this blue.
I also have a very blue championship. I'm going with Kentucky over Purdue. Don't even like Kentucky that much, but here we are.
It's a very stressful game.
It's going to be yes, it is. It's going to be a true battle of the blue bloods. You know, we're
That's
gonna.
what you love to see. These Cinderella stories are
It
fine,
is.
but I want to see the blue bloods. I'm
Yep,
not like Cameron. I don't want the little man to win.
two very historical
Uh,
franchises there. Yeah, I'm going with Kentucky over Purdue.
I have Marquette and Utah State in this one, and this is where the round ends for Utah State. I have Marquette winning this one. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a close, low-scoring game. I think if Marquette makes it this far, then I think they figured it out. Them going to the national championship. So probably have won it, but I'll tell you, Rusty's pick. He has Purdue beating Houston, and that's where he said.
Not that
I
one.
don't
I don't
think you
think.
did.
I
Maybe
think he
win
was
the
just
national
confused when he filled
championship.
this out.
He hasn't been a Tennessee fan very long. He doesn't know how this ends.
He has Tennessee and UNC the national championship. So for
Who does he have
championship,
winning? Go ahead.
John hasn't said it, has he?
Oh yeah, go ahead, John. Cameron
I
just
have-
stole the show there.
He's gonna tell us another 20-minute spiel on why Utah State, even though they lost, is gonna win the championship.
They won. They won their moral victory, I guess.
I have Creighton over Houston in this one.
Two people with crazy
It's a good pick, John.
national
All right,
championship
Cam,
for
go ahead.
everybody.
Let's start with Rusty first, since he's obviously going to be the dumbest.
Well, he had Arizona, Caleb Love versus Purdue, Zach Edey.
Purdue winning, I bet.
And no, he actually went with Caleb Love.
Okay, well,
No hard feelings there, I guess, for him. So he got
No.
Arizona to win this one.
he's not a real fan. He should hate that man.
I guess y'all, I guess it goes without saying, Damar picked to win it all. He picked UNC to beat Tennessee. National championship.
Yeah, I've got him over Creighton.
Yep, I got the best blue.
Yeah, I have Iowa State versus Marquette, two seeds, and again defense. I just think that Iowa State. I think their defense is going to carry them. I have Iowa State.
If it's
UNC beating Creighton as well.
Love to see it, boys.
For the
if it's
six.
Iowa State Marquette, I might not watch, Cameron. That sounds like a hideous, boring
Yeah.
national championship.
I had Marquette
Like my-
until talking about.
How do you feel about
like,
Cyclones, John? Just curious. Where do Cyclones rate on your
Rank your natural disasters
Disaster.
right now.
It's back in 5th grade.
I like where this is going.
I went through this.
Remember, this is a family show.
Really big Weather Channel phase. That's all I watched was the Weather Channel. I don't know what happened there or anything, but that's what happened. And I was always very scared of tornadoes. Also, where I live now, here in the beautiful farm country of Russell County, lots of wind here all the time. But I kind of enjoy it now. It's something to listen to.
A lot more wind than Whitewood, for sure.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite mascot overall you have in this tournament?
Well, typically I do about 25 brackets. I like to do a coin flip bracket every year. That's always a good time. Haven't done that yet. And
How many coin flips is that?
ever how many matchups? 128 or something.
Well, I'm
My
dedicated.
thumb gets a little sore. I think one time I used that automated one
On the
online.
computer.
Yeah. But I also do a mascot bracket, and usually it's I think one year it was the Aztecs I picked because they were kind of scary even though they lost to the Spanish.
That was probably the scary. Well, probably the coolest mascot. I like the Lobos. I mean,
I would never bet against the Bears. It would be Baylor all the way for me.
I
I
go
can't.
for real here. You got the
I
Mormons.
can't pick Baylor just because of he who should not be named. So I'm not afraid of bears. I think bears are dumb.
What is St. Mary's, John?
They're the Gales, so that's also just wind.
He learned that in 5th grade.
Yeah.
I was going through them all just to see.
We could go with
Let's go like corn.
Those guys suck.
I'm just going to tell you off like 3 times.
I was thinking I would like to see a battle of the religions going down with like BYU and St. Mary's. I'm just assuming St. Mary's is Catholic, and
Seems like a pretty fair assumption.
Actually,
yeah, I'm trying to find the most Christian team in here.
Would be like
I think-
religious reference, like something.
I think Grand Canyon is a Christian college.
Okay. Yeah,
They're
Grand
just called the Antelopes, though. I don't know how biblical the Antelopes are.
Do I need to ask you where the antelope ranks on your list of animals?
They're pretty cool.
Unaware. Yeah, I was unaware there was an antelope. That would be pretty high on mine.
But I just think they're like a desert deer. So like, are they really that cool? I mean, they're different, but
Are you saying they're overrated?
There are.
no, I mean they're probably properly rated. It's just a desert deer that has short antlers and can run fast. I mean, it's just like every other deer in the world.
Well, come back next week for John's complete list of animal rankings.
I would actually watch.
I believe there are.
That'd be an awesome.
I believe there are
sure.
two different. I believe there are two different Aggies in this tournament, which is disappointing.
Yeah, Cameron already praised that one enough. That's the most praise Utah State's ever gotten in the history of that college. They're the new Ponyacre Tigers of Porch Talk.
Went from the Talking Tigers to the All About Aggies podcast.
What do you think about the Volunteers as a mascot? It's a pretty needful thing.
You remember what I said about their fans? How I feel about their mascot too.
I guess Old Smoky, I guess, is their mascot though.
Yeah, I mean that's a cool dog.
As far as dogs go, he's pretty low down there.
I think it's a blue tick hound or something. I think that's what it is. For real.
All right. Well, any final thoughts from anybody?
Just
Go
Can't
Heels.
wait for the whole bracket to be busted by 3:00 on Thursday.
It won't take long.
I think it's gonna be a fun time. Me and John talked about it before the show. I think probably one of the best sports spectacles. We talked about, the first and even to the NFL playoffs. Like, you can see an upset in the first round of the NFL playoffs, but it's not going to hit like some of these games, like Thursday. It's just, there's no other sport that you're going to have teams like Grand Canyon, potentially, or Samford, making a run. So I just think it's a good time to be alive as a sports fan, and I'm not invested anymore, so we're good.
A short march
Thursday
for you, Cameron.
Yeah.
Thursday should be a national holiday.
Yeah, really.
Like, everybody should be off work. We should all be in our living rooms, kick back, watching the madness happen.
I like going to beat up with all the TVs, so I can't afford that many TVs or have the patience to put them all together like that. But I like going there and just watching the game.
YouTube TV, you can watch simulcast 4 games at one time.
I do that, Dave. Is insane. Anyway, poach is out there, Logan.
All right, what was that, number 9?
Yep.
Well, that was the 9th edition of The Boys Are on the Porch from your new host. Yeah, well, J-Mart, he doesn't like us. I've said that before. Whenever we're on here, he doesn't want to show up for some reason.
Rusty didn't make it to the port.
Yeah, it's fine. Rusty's not here. We're not really missing anything. For him to just sit super close to the camera.
I'm
Nobody
really
wants
curious
to
how
see
close
that.
I'm going to be whenever it's like, oh, yeah.
No, you look fine.
DM for merch.
Yeah.
DM for merch.
Porch Talk official _
Yeah.
on Instagram, Facebook,
Best koozie I own.
Twitter. I refuse to call it that letter, so it's Twitter. No, he caught it, but we're not talking about Dez right now.
Team Elon, man.
Of course. But that's another episode of The Boys Join the Porch. We'll see you next week to talk some high school basketball. Deuces.